Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to talk about Over the Limit, WWE's Over the Limit pay-per-view, my predictions and how I would book it, if you will. And a lot of people have basically been giving this pay-per-view a lot of flack, if you will. I mean, not that I blame them. It's WWE. I know they try their best to hype up the pay-per-views, but this one really hasn't had the hype it needs. I mean, first of all, a lot of people, including myself, didn't even know where it was going to be located at. Usually they say, oh, it's going to be here, it's going to be there. Uh, but they didn't do that this time. It's more like, okay, Over the Limit's coming up, we know that, but where's it going to be? You know. But anyway, they got several matches lined up, and some look good on paper, and some are like, what the, blankety blank are they smoking kind of deal with these matches. First of all, we got the pre-show, which is Zack Ryder and Kane. Now, prediction wise, if you're a fan of Zack Ryder, you want to see Zack Ryder pull the upset. But, prediction wise, I got to go with Kane, and I also got to go with Kane booking wise to help continue building him up as a monster. So, both ways, I got to go with Kane. Then we have Layla and Beth Phoenix for the Divas Championship. Now, Beth Phoenix, of course, has got this attitude to her that every diva she faces is, they're going to give her a fight, but in the end, she's just going to dominate, and that's it. She's going to find the opening and dominate. Um, the truth is, you know, we've seen it, and we know that will occur in matches. The only question is, will that happen again this Sunday against Layla? And honestly, the answer is probably, but we're probably going to see another Kelly situation with Layla and Beth. I mean, a lot of people have said it. The PWR show has said it. Um, Dads on Wrestling at Renegade Wrestling have said it, and I'm sure other people have said it. You cannot take the belt off somebody that just returned, who's got momentum, who is very likable and has improved in the ring. You can't do a transitional thing with her just, like that and give it back to Beth. What you want to do is you want to build it up. I mean, you take a look at last year with Kelly, despite how we feel about that, Beth kept chasing Kelly and chasing Kelly and chasing Kelly for months until finally Hell in the Cell, she got the Divas title and she ran with it for as long as she did. So the question is, are they going to do the same thing with Layla? I wouldn't be surprised. Basically what you want to do is if you want to build tension with Layla and Beth, you want to build it up. You want Beth to continue chasing it so that in the end, when she finally does get it back, it means more. And then eventually her feud, if she has one with Karma, depending on what happens with Karma this year, will occur, and it'll mean more because basically Beth would have chased Layla for months to before finally getting the belt back, and it'll mean for the second time, and again it'll mean so much more for Beth because then Karma will show up and show that she's just as dominant, if not more so than Beth, probably doing like handicap diva matches and stuff like that, and again show her dominance, and again it'll show her, and again it'll show that she's a viable threat, probably the biggest threat that Beth has, and again it'll build up the fact that it means so much more for Beth to try her best to hold on to the belt the second time around and not let Karma get a hold of it or something like that. Basically, basically what I'm saying is prediction wise, I'd like to see Beth win, but booking wise, you got to go with Layla so you can continue the chase story again for a second year in a row. Build it up to something like say SummerSlam with Night of Champions. Not on a Raw, not on a SmackDown, but something like I said, Night of Champions, maybe SummerSlam, maybe even Money in the Bank. Well, at least maybe the longest go to about, let's see, Extreme Rules, Over the Limit, No Way Out, Money in the Bank. Yeah, I'd say about SummerSlam, at least maybe Night of Champions. Then have Beth win it back around that time frame, probably more so at SummerSlam, so that it means more. And then you bring in Karma and you have Beth do her best to try to hold on to the belt after seeing the domination that Karma can do, like I say, in handicap matches. I mean, let's say you put Karma in a handicap match against Maxine and I don't know who else. Maxine and Natalie, or Natalia, I should say. In Natalia, you have Karma run over them, or well, maybe not mostly Natalia because they fought before, but you get what I'm saying. Like you put her in the ring with Maxine and AJ maybe, or Maxine and Vicky or something. I don't know. Maxine and Eve maybe. You know, put her in those kind of situations, have her dominate over them. You know, and then kind of show that she's more of a threat. Kind of show Beth Phoenix, kind of one up, do a one-upmanship with Beth Phoenix, and kind of be like, yeah, you could beat and dominate one diva, but can you beat and dominate two? And again, like I said, I know I'm rambling and repeating myself here, but it kind of shows that she's more of a threat, and it makes Beth, and it basically makes Beth retain regainmanship of that title the second time around after chasing Layla for the next few months more meaningful. So again, prediction wise, I'd like to see Beth win, but booking wise, you got to go with Layla. Let her go for the next few months, then have Beth win it back because it'll mean so much more when the Karma situation starts to occur. And then you can use that to build up to maybe Survivor Series, maybe even if you want to extend it as long as you have to WrestleMania. Now we have the tag team title match. We have um, Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler against Kofi Kingston and R-Truth. Now, a lot of people have said that they would love to see Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler finally win the titles because they are basically more of a legitimate tag team than Kofi and R-Truth are because Kofi and R-Truth were just thrown together. The truth is, and I know it's kind of like ironic saying that, but the truth is this. R-Truth was put as Kofi's partner because right now Evan Bourne's on the shelf. In other words, if Evan Bourne wasn't on the shelf right now, it'd be Air Boom against Dolph and Swagger. It'd be Air Boom. So right now it's Kofi, it's Air Truth as I look at him. Air Truth, or not Air Truth. I guess you could say Air Truth, or I don't know. Or Truth in Paradise, whatever you want to say. But basically, yeah. That's the reason R-Truth is with him. And I definitely see a good tag team match. And prediction-wise, believe it or not, I want to go with Dolph and Ziggler. I want to go with Jack and Dolph because they have had more experience as a team. And I think they've worked hard enough to get that momentum and they need it. So I definitely go with Jack and Dolph, prediction-wise, as a fan, to walk out as over the limit as the tag team champions. I mean, because basically you got to build them up as a team. Because you take a look at the AW stable, and you say to yourself, well, could that be a face stable or a heel stable? And what you want to do is, since there have been rumors and stuff and hints and basically rumors circulating that Dolph and Jack could be, like, say, the next Hart Foundation, as one person put it, or even, rumors going around that either Dolph and Jack could turn face, this could slowly be that turn that they could use. Because if you get another face tag team to run alongside, let's say, Truth and Kofi, and then you got the Primos, you got the Colognes, you got Titus and Darren, and you got the Usos. You have a tag team division being rebuilt right there. So, but again, having another face tag team would help out because you got basically what right now three heel tag teams. You got O'Neal and Young, you've got the Colognes, and you got Ziggler and Swagger. So, in my opinion, unless you want to add another face tag team out there, and right now people are thinking, well, the face tag team, and also let's put in Rex and Tyler. Tyler Rex and Kurt Hawkins. So basically, you got Ziggler Swagger, Young and O'Neal, the Colognes, Rex and Hawkins. 4 heel tag teams. So here's what you do. You take and they outnumber the face tag teams. You know what I'm saying? You got, basically you got. Well, you get the idea. Basically, they outnumber the face tag teams, and that's not fair. That's the way I look at it. It's not fair, man. So the way I look at it, this could slowly be that turn you need. Because then you would have another face tag team, and believe it or not, it could help Vicky Guerrero. I mean, yeah, Vicky's the kind of person you love to hate, but believe it or not, fans love her, love seeing her more than they like seeing John Laurinaitis. So that is why I think, prediction wise, as a fan, this would help Ziggler and Swagger slowly turn into faces, because then they'd have some heels on their heels, if you know what I mean, and kind of start to even things out. You know what I'm saying? And then also you got Hunico and Camacho. That's another heel tag team. I mean, come on, honestly. I mean, I don't know who else. I mean, looks like now you're trying to put. I mean, looks like they're trying to now put Jackson and Khali together as a tag team. That might work. But you get what I'm saying. If I'm missing any other tag teams, let me know. But again, what I'm saying is that prediction-wise, as a fan, I would love to see Swigler. I mean, Swagger and Ziggler win the tag team titles. But booking wise, I mean, you just put. But if you look at it from a booking standpoint, you want Truth and Kingston to win, because you just put the belts on them, and it might be a little too soon to take them off. But then again, you take a look. You take a look at TNA, and look what they did. They had Magnus and Joe running with it for a few months, and that was good. And they thought they were going to run with it another few months or so after Sacrifice, and that didn't happen. That was a surprise switch there. So, we can't say either way. But prediction-wise, as a fan, I would like to see Swagger and Ziggler win it for the reasons I mentioned. Booking-wise, though, you got to keep the belts on Kofi Kingston and R-Truth, because it's a little too soon to take them off. Okay. Woo! All right, that's 2 matches down. I got 4 more, a couple more. Okay, that's 3 matches down, I guess. I'm pretty sure we'll probably get a last-minute match in there. We might get another Ryback squash and another Brodus squash, maybe one of those two. Because if they did a Ryback squash on at Extreme Rules, then we're bound to get it again at Over the Limit. So we got a Ryback thing there, so I'd definitely Ryback either way. We might get a Brodus Miz matchup. Probably allow Brodus again to squash Miz, or even surprise people and have Miz go over Brodus. Who knows? So I think we'll just get maybe 2 more, maybe 1 more or 2 more matches added on. We might even get a Santino match. I don't know. But again, we'll get something. 1 or 2 extra matches. Then we have the World Heavyweight Championship Fatal 4-Way, which I think is going to be a great Fatal 4-Way. It's pretty good. You got different contrasting styles. You got Sheamus defending against Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, and Alberto Del Rio. With the storyline situation going on at WWE.com, that there's hints of Jericho may be leaving and stuff. Not because he's failing at trying to obtain championship gold. Then yeah, prediction-wise, you have to go with one of those two, but you have to go with someone. So prediction-wise, I have to go Randy Orton. Yeah, you thought I was going to say Chris Jericho, but I'm not. I'm going with Randy Orton because we're going into the summer, and you want one of your faces of the company, as much as people hate to hear it. You want somebody that, I think it's J.J. Williams said on the Dads of Wrestling set about a couple of hours, yesterday. I'm guessing now maybe 9-10 hours ago. He said it best. Randy, despite how you feel about him, does put asses in the seat. His merchandise, the merchandise that he has, does sell. And it is the summer, and you got a lot of fans, young fans, believe it or not, that like Randy Orton. So you gotta And basically, Randy Orton is like a summer blockbuster attraction. People will pay during the summer to go see him. And what better way to have people go and see him, even at live events, than to have the world title around his way? So, prediction wise, as a fan, you got to go Randy Orton. Booking wise, according to the sources that I've read online, if you want to believe them or not, booking wise, you want to go with Sheamus, keep the momentum going with him as the world champion. I mean, according to several sources, they want to give Sheamus a long title run, and that sounds good. So, yeah, definitely booking wise, you got to go with Sheamus, keep that momentum going. And if you do let him drop the title, have him drop it to maybe Del Rio, maybe Jericho by around SummerSlam. That's when you have him drop it. Maybe Night of Champions, but SummerSlam or Night of Champions, you have him drop it there. That's how you do it. So, but if they decide to do a CM Punk thing with Sheamus, hey, that's great too. That'd be great too, because it would put more prestige back into the world title. So prediction wise as a fan, because of the summer and everything, Randy Orton. Booking wise, keep the momentum going, keep the belt on Sheamus to at least maybe SummerSlam, Night of Champions, or do a CM Punk deal with him, see what happens. Speaking of CM Punk, he will face Daniel Bryan with the WWE Championship on the line, in what many are saying is an internet wrestling communities, or YWC wrestling communities, dream come true. The two guys that even the WWE article says that nobody thought would ever get to this position are in the position they are. That they are in this exact position. Now, the only problem that people have with it is they're not sure if it's going to be in the middle, it's going to be the second to last, or if it's going to be the curtain jerker. In other words, the official opening match to Over the Limit. My honest opinion, I think it's going to probably be, if they got enough sense, it's going to be the third to last match. So it might be in the middle, but I think it's going to be right before or right after a Ryback squash match, if Ryback's put back on there like I mentioned earlier, or a Brodus match with whoever. It's going to be in between one of those matches, because, and this is the reason I say that, because if you have the WWE title match follow after a squash match of, let's say, a Ryback or a Brodus, or even before, it kind of puts a little, it's crazy as it sounds, it puts more emphasis, more importance on those squash matches, because you're thinking, okay, if we put Ryback after his squash match after the WWE title, then that means we think highly of Ryback. We really want to push this guy. The same with Brodus. Or it's even if you do it before, it's like, okay, if we want to put him before this, we kind of think highly of them too. But again, I'm guessing it'll probably be after, not after, probably around, I'm guessing, just a guess, probably before the squash match, whichever, if it's either Ryback or Brodus, it's going to be one of those. So, yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a good match. I don't know how long they're going to give them. I mean, I know from what people said when they met in Ring of Honor. I mean, you see the pictures of the match that Ring of Honor has even allowed people to watch for free. The match that they've allowed people to watch for free is gone for 45 minutes. I don't know if they're going to allow them to do 45 minutes. I think on average they might let them do maybe 25 to 30 minutes at least. Maybe 20, I'm not sure, but they got to give, I think they realize they got to give Daniel Bryan and CM Punk enough time to really showcase why they're, as they say, they are the best in the world. So, prediction-wise, it's kind of tossed in the air, because you want Daniel Bryan to achieve the goal that nobody said he would achieve, and that's become WWE champion, and then kind of showcase and kind of prove to the world that he is the best, because basically then he can, as a heel, gloat the next night on Raw and say, look, and go like, look what I did, I am truly the best in the world, not CM Punk, not Chris Jericho, because look what I've done. In the past 5 to 7 months, I've been the world champion, and now I'm the WWE champion, when no one ever said I would do it. I mean, that would be a great thing for him as a heel. CM Punk, you want to keep the momentum with him. I mean, he's had the belt since Survivor Series, so, some people might say his time as a champion is up, but hey, take a look at John Cena. When he became WWE champion, he held, I think for the second time around or something, he held that belt for a long, long time. There's no doubt about it. He held that belt for a long, long time, for over a year, and then he lost it. So if they're doing the same thing with CM Punk, that's great, but we just have to wait and see. Prediction-wise, it's kind of tossed in the air because I like both Punk and Danielson. Yeah, I called him Danielson. But prediction-wise, I have to go with CM Punk, and I have to do it booking-wise as well. Because booking-wise, you want to keep that momentum going. And if they are planning to, shoot him off into a feud with Lord Tensai or maybe even Brock Lesnar for the title down the line, then so be it. So I definitely see CM Punk booking prediction wise as a fan walking out with the title, and I definitely see it booking wise as well. So that's how I look at the WWE title match. Now the match that many fear is going to be the main event, the last match. John Laurinaitis against John Cena. We all found out on Raw, probably the least watched Raw in a long time, the lowest rating Raw in a long time. The stipulations are John Laurinaitis, the match has to be won by pinfall submission. So in other words, it kind of indicates there may be no disqualification, no count out. But maybe that's just or maybe they just forgot to add that in, or I don't know. But we also found out that there cannot be no interference because if any superstar or diva interferes, they'll be fired. No one's allowed at ringside. There's no special referees, blah, blah, blah. So prediction-wise as a fan, you want to go with John Cena, and that's what I'm going to do. Prediction-wise as a fan, I want John Cena to win this. But booking-wise, there's something up in the air. Something screwy. Booking-wise, you got to have John Laurinaitis win because there's something screwy going on. I mean, a lot of people, even I pointed it out in a video this past week, but Big Show being fired the way he was, it just, it doesn't add up. It does add up, basically, I should say. But Big Show being fired, some people might think, well, he was fired before the announcement of these stipulations were made. That's true. But here's the thing. John Laurinaitis could bait Big Show and saying, hey, you want your job back? Here's what you do. You interfere in my match, you choke slam John Cena, I get the win, you get your job back. Now, two things could come out of this. Some people feel Big Show will end up sort of similar to what John Cena was in the Nexus thing, as a slave. In other words, doing Laurinaitis' dirty work even though he doesn't feel like doing it, even though he doesn't like doing the dirty work. Or two, we could see a Big Show heel turn, which could lead to another Big Show John Cena rivalry for the summer. Which could be good. Because at least it'll put Big Show back in the spotlight. But Big Show right now is advertised, according to some people, for the SmackDown tour of Mexico. And according to some rumors, is advertised for a strap match at No Way Out. With Cody Rhodes. Now the thing is, now that's going to be the wild card right there. The Cody Rhodes situation. We know that feud's far from over. But here's what I think could happen. If they decide to go with Big Show turning heel by helping John Laurinaitis, who doesn't know that that's automatically going to mean that who doesn't see that automatically making Cody Rhodes into a face? Who does not see that happening? I apologize for the street sweeper outside. But apparently, who does not see that happen? Who does not see Cody Rhodes turning face? I mean, after the cheers he got by a lot of fans at Extreme Rules, who does not see him turning face if Big Show goes heel? I do. It only makes sense if you want to continue that feud. But then again, it's kind of 50-50 because they might just try the slave routine as well. So, but prediction-wise, as a fan, you want to see John Laurinaitis lose and get fired because that's the other stipulation. If he loses, he's terminated. But this is what could happen if they decide to go in that direction. Because I was thinking about this. John Laurinaitis could lose. Now, Big Show, I'm thinking, could interfere, and booking-wise, storyline-wise, they could have him choke slam John Laurinaitis and help John Cena win the match. That could happen. Not saying it's necessary or needed, but it could happen. But then he would be the twister. John Laurinaitis could come out and say, "I'm not going to be fired because unknown to everybody, I rehired the Big Show, even unknown to him." So I don't know, but something's gonna happen to where booking wise they're gonna have probably John Laurinaitis go over in some screwy, controversial way. But prediction wise, you got to go with John Cena as a fan. You want to go and see that happen. And again, it's like I said, the reason John Cena is put in this situation, whether people want to believe it or not, is WWE is trying to get the Cena haters to jump onto the Cena bandwagon. So in other words, become part of the C Nation, and that's why they're doing this. Now, some people have said Brock Lesnar could interfere, but that would be using up his dates, right? And he's not advertised, but it could make a surprise appearance. I mean, we've seen that happen. And remember with the whole Nexus thing, nobody called that. So nobody probably was going to. So nobody's either. I mean, I know some fans are calling a Brock Lesnar interference, but some may not because WWE hasn't touted it, but we don't know that. So it's kind of 50-50 up in the air. But anyway, again, prediction wise, John Cena. Booking wise, if they're continuing a match with them, if they're going to have another match at No Way out between Cena and Laurinaitis, you got to go with Laurinaitis. So those are my over the limit predictions and how I see it being booked. Otherwise, predictions as a fan and booking wise as well if it was being booked. So comment down below, video response if you like, and I will talk to you all later.